Okay, so this is a continuation of the video. I soldered that multiplexer, and as you can see, kind of works. Well, it's working pretty good now. But like, yeah, I just pressed up and it didn't go up, and so I don't know, it just doesn't have the pop like it should. So I soldered it. I don't know if it's just because my soldering joint was horrible, but I decided why not. I'm gonna change the actuator as well. I was on Audi Club, and some guy mentioned that maybe the motor or whatever the heck is in here is bad. I mean, this was $8 on eBay, so it's not a huge punch to the face financially. So, and might as well check it out. So yeah, this video is I'm not gonna lie, is gonna be relying very heavily on 1A Auto's YouTube video that shows how to do this. So and we got some crazy stuff going on here. But anyways, I'm just gonna be kind of doing the same thing 1A Auto did, and I'll show, and I'm basically getting all my information there. So hopefully we can get this switched out, and hopefully this will make it work better. So first thing we got to do is we have that there. So I got to take in my screwdriver, pop that out, and then right here, pop that out, and then there will be screws underneath here that I need to take off. So that's the first step. Alright, so just so you know, it comes out this way, and then there's a screw that you unscrew, comes out that way, and then this one pops out that way. And there should be little tabs to keep them from coming off, and then there's the other screw. So I'm going to take these two screws out and we'll go from there. Alright, so once the screw's out, you just pull it out. Okay, and then there's two. You got this one where you're just going to push this tab down right there. This tab right here, you can push it down, pull it out. This one, I don't think there is a tab, I think you just pull it out. So I'm going to do that, pull those two out, and then this, I think, snaps out too, but we'll get there in a minute. I'm kind of wimpy, and I couldn't really get off by just with my hands. So, just like in the other video, I used this. I just kind of clamped on and pulled off, and it actually came off pretty easy. So, this next one, you have to grab and kind of pull this way. You pull it that way, and it kind of comes off. And then, back there, you can see it's kind of attached, and so you got to take that clip and push it off. That's what I'm going to do.
What's the mechanics do?
Next thing, then disconnect that. Got it off. So this part was right there. That little metal thing went in that hole, and then that clipped on. And then that little connector right there, that went in there, and I just pulled it out. It really wasn't that hard. So next part I'm going to do is take this part off. I'll probably get a screwdriver or something, kind of pry it in there. Got a flat head, I'll just kind of stick it in there and then pry that off, and then the next thing is we'll just take the whole door off. So moving on. Alright, so I got it off. Really what I did is I took my screwdriver here, it was up here, and I just pried it from here, from the upper left hand corner, and it came off real easy. So next thing I got to do is just start pulling. I'm probably going to take my screwdriver, start prying it around, and just pull, pull. I know once this whole thing comes off, this is connected, so don't rip it off. The speaker's actually connected, so you need to make sure you take that off too. I don't know how much I can record in this step, but I'll do as much as I can. But basically I'm going to start prying around, getting it off, pull, pull, pull. Then when the whole thing comes off, I'll make sure to unhook the speaker. Okay, you do kind of have to pull hard here, but I got it. Basically, I put the screwdriver behind there and kind of pulled it, snapped out, pulled, snapped out, snap, snap, just kept snapping, just pull hard. And then, once you get it all kind of snapped out, you should be able to just kind of lift it off. And then, there's a connection that I need to undo for the speaker, and that's what I'm going to do next. Alright, just so you can see, it was in like that, Okay, and then you just push those two tabs and pull. It really wasn't that hard to get out, so just hope I didn't unplug anything or break anything. But yeah, you just kind of push those two tabs in and pull, and it'll come out. Alright, so this is what it looks like. Fun stuff. So I gotta pop this off with a screwdriver. And then once we do that, I'll be able to just kind of pull this off. This is using some nasty tar stuff to kind of keep it glued on, or whatever you want to call. So I'm going to pop that off, and then I'm just going to pull everything down. Okay, so we pulled this off a little bit. There's 3 bolts we got to remove. The 2 here, got the one there, one there, and then we got to pull up this off. This little cap that we got to pop off. Once we pop that off, there's going to be a bolt there that we need to get out as well. Okay, popped it off. You can see the bolt right there. So you are going to need an extension to be able to get back there and get that off. So I'm going to get my ratchet, so now I'm going to take those 2 bolts off and then grab the one in there and take that off as well. Fun stuff. Yeah, so like I said, you're going to need some sort of extension to get back here. I already got those 2 out. That was pretty easy. But now I got to get that one back there. And they're all 10mm bolts, by the way. So I got my extension. Just going to throw it in there, do my thing. And of course, you want to be careful not to drop the bolts, but the cool thing about these doors, I've worked on others that don't really have this, but if I drop it, at least I'll be able to stick my hand there and get it. So get that and we'll go from there. Okay, you can see that there's kind of a bar in the way. So I kind of reached my hand back here. And if you kind of grab the bar with your other hand, if I can find it. I had it. There we go, I think. So if you just, there we go, you can kind of see my finger there. You can kind of push it down, so that's what I have to do. I'm going to push it down and then I'll throw the bolt or the ratchet in there and then I'll be able to get it that way. So just a tip there. Okay, got the 3 bolts out, and then what I did is I kind of pulled this out and I pushed forward. So I pulled out the thing as kind of far as I could, and then I just, pushed it forward that way. And I did that because I need access to this and that. So I need to be able to push that clip off with a screwdriver, just like we did before with the other clip. And then I got to unscrew that. Once you do that, then you can take the whole handle out. So that's what we'll be doing next. Alright, so I had the screwdriver, went in and just kind of pushed it up and then pulled it out. And then, I love Harbor Freight, by the way. Got this little short screwdriver, Harbor Freight. Now I couldn't really do it like that. I had to put it in here and then go at it that way. And I just kept going. Be really careful though. I mean, you don't want to drop it. You'll be okay if you do, but just be careful. So now that that's out, I should be able to play around with this handle and pull it out. Alright, so once you do that, it's kind of tricky, but you just have to kind of push that all the way this way and then just kind of pull it out that way. Just kind of twist it and get this part out first. And once that's out, you can kind of just kind of force it up a little bit, push it, and then it just comes out. It's kind of tough, but just keep wiggling with it, keep messing with it until it comes out. Okay, next thing is we got to get this off. So you can see that right here, it has these little plastic things. So I'm basically going to have to take the screwdriver, put it in, and just pry this part out. Okay, so I don't know if you can really see it, but there's a notch. Like you got some stuff here, and then there's nothing there, and then it keeps going around. So I stuck my screwdriver in there and kind of did this a little bit. Then once I could get under this and that, I started doing a rocking motion, and that's when it kind of popped out and everything was good. So that's what worked for me on this one. Okay, so you can see in here this little plastic part can move around. If that is still stuck to the rod when you pull it out, if it's still stuck to that, you need to take a screwdriver and pull it off and then just put it back in there. So just make sure that that's still in here when you're done. Yes, baby, I'm working on the car. Anyway, so just make sure that plastic part's in there. Alright, now the door handle's out. We can see that right here, I guess this is the window track. It's in the way. So what we need to do is undo this bolt right there. Once that bolt is undone, then we can pull this out. Once we pull that out, we need to undo those two plugs. So that's what we're going to do next. I undid the bolt, and when I did it, I heard a thunk. So this can just come out now. Okay, and that's where it screws in right there. That's going to be fun getting back in. Okay, now there, I'm pretty sure is the actuator. So that's what I'm going to be trying to get out. So now I just need to get that out. I'm probably going to use my tool that I've been using. This handy dandy clip remover thing I'll probably use to get those two out. But yeah, that's what's next, is getting that out and getting that out. So we'll do that next. Okay, the way I got those plugs out is I just did it from this side. I had my little tool here. I put my arm in like that, and I just went in there, grabbed them like that, just squeezed and pulled out the two, and they came out pretty easily actually. So good stuff. Now I need to unscrew these, and this is scaring me right here. So gotta find something that'll be able to do that. So I gotta get this unscrewed. I just did something really stupid. I took out the lock and then I shut the door. Not a good idea. So if you happen to do that, just take this, make sure it's pulled up all the way because it needs to be unlocked, and then come over here and pull that, and then that'll open the door. So yeah, don't do that. Okay, so this next part, to be able to get these out, again, Harbor Freight, I love you. I have this, can't remember what it's called. It's one of those things where you can slam a hammer into this and it's an impact screwdriver or something, I don't know. So I found the bit, and sorry if my terminology's off, that fit in here the best. And then I just went to my ratchet set and I found one here that would fit in. So it fits in there really snug. It fits in here really snug, and I'm gonna just use my ratchet to undo that, hopefully. So that's how I'm doing it. Hopefully you guys have something that can do that, because you can't really do that with just a normal screwdriver. Those things are in pretty tight. There you go, and this was a 5/16 if you care. So put those in there and hopefully this will work. We'll try it here in a minute. This worked really good. So I got the screws out. Next part was not in the 1A auto video, but I'm pretty sure we got to take this part off. So I'm going to unscrew this. Once I do that, I should be able to pull out the whole locking mechanism. So I'll get that unscrewed and we'll go from there. Okay, took the screw out. Then you just kind of need to pull this out of the way, and you need to just kind of pull that out. And then I think, but I'm not 100% sure, that we need to, this right here is still connected to the locking mechanism over here. So probably need to take a screwdriver, pull that pin off, and then we'll be able to pull the whole thing out, hopefully. We'll see. So I'm guessing that's what we do. Alright, so to get that pin off, I just came out on the outside and I just pulled that, and then I could see it, and then I just took a screwdriver and pushed it down. And then boom, it's off. So now I should be able to pull out the whole locking mechanism. I will try that now. Okay, so what I did is I took this. This is the one we just barely snapped off, and I just kind of tried to push it out of the way. You can see it kind of going over there. This wire here was on this clip right there. That wire was there, and I just pulled it off, tried to move it. And now it's just a matter of kind of taking the whole thing and just kind of wiggling it out, trying to get it out from there. And that's what I'll do, and hopefully it'll come out. Okay, got it pulled out. This is the little shield thing. It actually comes off. It took me a while to figure out how it gets back on, but there's a little thing right there. And when you're ready, you just put that part on there. And you just kind of push it on. And then it lines up with the lock going up. So anyways, this is the actuator. It's the old one. This is the new one. So I'm going to take off that screw, and then it looks like I'm going to have to take off that one as well, and then it should come off. We'll take those two screws off and go from there. Okay, so I took out the screw there, and it's still attached. So if I flip it over, you can see we're going to be looking at this thing right here. That thing went underneath that pin. So I pushed that down, and then that detached. So now when I'm trying to pull it, all I got to do is just take that screw off, and then the whole thing should come off. So I'll do that here. Took that screw out right here, pulled it out. So there's the old one right there. Here's the new one. I'm just gonna put it in. And the main thing is just that I put it in here, so it goes right there. Then I'll put the screw in. Then I need to get this part right here to go into that pin right there. So that's what I'll do next. Okay, you can see I got the pin back in there. It was kind of tricky. I had to kind of put my finger down in there and push. And then I use this lever. See how it kind of moves it? I kind of use that lever to push it. So I had it down like that, and then I pushed down really hard, and then I kind of pulled it, and it just kind of snapped it into place there. Okay, and then I got that screw back in. So now all I got to do now is put the screws back in there and there. So we'll do that next. Okay, so I got that screw on, that screw on. Now it's just a matter of putting this back in. Before you do this, you obviously want to have these out of the way. So these need to be kind of over here. This little wire that goes to this, that hooked into the handle, I'm just kind of getting that out of the way too. Just trying to get everything out of the way so I can put it back where it went. So remember, just that part right here just needs to go flat up against there so you can screw it in. Of course, that needs to be able to go through there. And then I'm going to put on the shield after I get it in. So hopefully that'll work the best. And then this part right here needs to be going out there, and so forth. So here we go. Okay, trying to get in here is kind of a beast. So I got it through the hole. I put it in kind of like this, you know, and then when I got closer, I could just kind of turn it. And you want to make sure that you're out of the way of all this. And then I might just want to make sure that's on the other side. Make sure that's over there. So now I should be good. Yeah, I just kind of move it over. So that's how I got it in. Got it back in there. You can see that it went past that wire. Okay, That's going to be able to go out there like it needs to. Okay, that's in front of it. So there it is, back where it should be. Now I'm just going to finish screwing those in, and then I will plug in those. Right. Plug in these back to where they need to go. Okay, so screw it in and I'll plug these in. Okay, so next thing I did is I took this wire that I had over here and I just kind of put it back in its location there. Then, yeah, I plugged those in like you can see. There we go. So I plug those in. I would just say though, when you plug these in, make sure you're pushing really hard, because I put them in and I thought they were in all the way and they weren't. I pushed a lot harder and then they went in even more. So just make sure that you're pushing those in pretty hard. Okay, and I got that screwed back in. So the next thing you want to do is, let's get this out of the way, because we're going to make sure this clip is down like that. I'm going to put that back in, snap it. Okay. The main thing here is you just want to make sure that, things kind of in the way, but you want to make sure that this is behind that. So that can kind of go like that, and make sure that this is behind this part right here. Okay, so we put that in. Then I'm going to take the shield. So take this shield, and it goes in like this. Okay. And remember that right there is where that goes, right here. Wait, no, you know what? I think I'm lying. Nope, I am lying. It goes right there. Okay, not right there. It goes right there. So I'm going to stick that on, and then I'm going to poke this through here. Okay, and then I'll get it screwed in. So that's the next thing I'll do here. Okay, next thing we got to do is put back the window rail, right? So there is, right there is where you need to put it in, that little slot. So you put it in the slot, and then you just line it up right there, and then screw it in, and you're good. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay, now it's time to get this back in. So we're just going to have to go from the outside. Okay, we'll put that in. Now remember, this one is going to go here. This thing right here is going to plug into right there. And then we can see this little one right here, right there, is going to go in there. And that should be it. And then all we got to do is bolt it in. So let's do that now. Okay, I'm sorry guys. I can't really show how I did that, just because it was a huge pain in the butt. So when you put this in, you have to have it kind of tilt that way. And you'll want to, really, to be honest, you'll want to watch 1A Auto's video to put how to put this in, because I just don't want to do it again because it really sucked. But so you kind of, there's little tabs with circle, like things in the middle, and then you have, like, okay, so here's the tab right here. You can see it. Okay, there's the tab right here. So this metal part needs to be past the tab. It needs to be over the tab. Okay, you can see the tab right there. So this metal part needs to be over the tab, and then that metal part needs to be over as well. And then once it's in, you want to push it that way as much as you can, and you'll see up here there's going to be some space, and you just have to get this metal thing past that tab. And once you do it, and then also, you can't really see it, but there's a tab back there behind that needs to be behind the metal part as well. It's just a huge pain in the butt. So that's the best I can do. Sorry. Just make sure these tabs are in between or behind this metal part, and you'll be okay. And then I was trying to push it back over, and the tab was getting in the way, so I had to kind of bend the tab a little bit to get it to get into the spot that it's supposed to go into. So I know that doesn't really help, sorry, but anyways, now I'm going to start putting in the bolts. Bolt here, bolt there, and then the bolt in there. So yeah, I'll do the bolts next. Okay, got the 2 bolts in. I'm not going to put in the other bolt yet. I'm going to go back here, and we're going to take that, and we're going to put it in there, and then bring the clip around. Maybe. Anyway, so that needs to go in there, and then that clip needs to come on the bottom of it. I need 2 hands to do that, so that's the next thing we're going to do. Okay, so this was kind of tough, getting that clip on there. I actually had to take my middle finger, push it through, and then I just pushed the clip down with my middle finger. I could barely reach. I was trying to do a screwdriver. I couldn't really, I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe I could have done it that way. Reached up underneath, I don't know. It was just hard for me to get, but that's how I ended up doing it. It was that way. So, fun. And I just realized I screwed something up, so. Wow. Alright, so I gotta undo these bolts. And I gotta move this over so I can get this in. Well, yeah, that's annoying. So yeah, don't do the bolts. Sorry guys if I screwed you up there. But I'm going to take those bolts out and move it over so I can put that piece in. So yeah, I removed the bolts, and then I just put my hand around and I pushed that way, and that got that a lot closer. So now I'm going to stick that on there and screw it back in. And the cool thing is, even that clip kind of stayed. I probably bent it. Hope it doesn't break or anything, but anyways, you may want to take that out first before you move it over, but I didn't. Anyways, I'm going to put that on there, and then we'll put the bolts back in. Just so I didn't drop the screw, I put the screw in first, and then I just kind of kept the screwdriver on it, and I put it in all the way until I got it in the hole, and then I just started screwing it in a little bit. That way I didn't drop it. So now I can line these up and then screw it in more. So that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, so I just screwed that in. Just make sure that that stays lined up and that stays lined up, and then just keep screwing it in until it goes in. So, okay, now I'm going to move it back over. I'm going to put the bolt in there and a bolt in there, and then the bolt back in there. Getting that bolt in is easy enough, but this one was a little crazy. You can see it way back there. Right there. So what I did is I just I took my extension, I put it in, and you can see that there it is. So I was able to just look through this way with my eyes and make sure that the bolt went straight into the hole, and instead of trying to look right here and just hope that you're there, I was able to look in there and make sure that you know, I took the bolt straight into the hole, and then I just started putting it in. So that's the little trick there that worked for me. Just real quick, when I was trying to get the bolt in, I had to pull that down just so I could get into the hole, just so you're aware of that. Okay, got the bolts in and everything's good. So now I just need to start putting everything back together. So first thing I want to do is grab this, stick that in there. Okay, and then I'm going to start just putting the shield around everywhere again. And I do have this as well, so I'm going to stick that in there. And then I will grab the door and we'll pop that on, and just remember to plug in the speaker. So we'll do that next. Put that back in there, put that back in there. Now I just need to take the door, lift it up, put it above it. I need to kind of hook it on, make sure the thing goes through there, and make sure all of the wires and such come through there and come through there. So that's what I'm going to do next. Also, I'm going to plug in that into there. Gotta make sure I plug in the speaker. Okay, we'll talk to you when that is done. Okay, it was a little tricky getting that back on. You just got to make sure that that's lined up. There's this little thing right here that you can rest the door on. But I kind of had to take the door and bring it out a little bit to kind of make this go through. So anyways, and then once I did that, I can just pull these out. Okay. Actually, no, that one goes up through here. So make sure this little white one's here. We got the brown one here and the blue one here. Okay, so next thing, and then I just kind of whacked it around and I heard it pop into place. Make sure you get the speaker. I plugged in the speaker too. Okay, so now it's just a matter of taking these, okay, plugging them in. So I'll do this one first. So that gets plugged into there, and then I'll put it in and screw it in. Okay, another thing you definitely want to make sure you do is plug that in. Okay, we're doing this one. You got to make sure that you take that and plug it into that little hole and then push the clip on. If you don't, then this door will not work, so make sure you do that. So I got the clip in, and then I put the snap on there, and then I made sure I plugged in the thing. But when you put it in, you want to push it this way, and then you want to make sure that the screw hole thing is lined up. So now I'll screw that in. Okay, got it screwed in. You may not want to have that open when you're screwing that in, because if the screw falls down there. So I made sure to put that on top. Okay, so now we have the blue one and the brown one. Brown one goes there, blue one goes there, and then I just put it in, and I'm going to screw it in there, and then I should be good to go, and hopefully this works. So I plug the two in, and then basically when you put it in, you just want to stick that in, and then first kind of lift it in, stick it in, and then just push down, and it'll snap in. Okay, you're going to screw that in, and then we will test this, and I will either hate life or love life. Sorry, you know, we can't forget this awesome piece. So, you know, put it in there, snap it in, smack that. Yeah! Alright. Okay. I cheated. I already tested, and I am a happy person. Here we go. Yeah, look at that baby. It goes quick and strong and powerful. Okay, so we rocked, man. We did it. We did it. I had to do both types of fixes. I had to solder the wretched thing, and the actuator was actually getting bad and wimpy, so I had to do both. That's annoying, but look. Yeah, so we're good. I am a happy person. Hope this helps someone out. See ya.